Hello guys. Today we're gonna talk about the episode "Scareful What You Wish For." I remember this one. This one was really good. Um, this one aired on August 31st, 2001. It's TVY7, of course. It's 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb without 77-ish user votes. It guest stars Shayla Beowulf or I forgot what. That's how I pronounce it. You know him from like Transformers, Boy Meets World, or whatever. Um, I say his name weird. I always have, and I probably always will. I most people pronounce it as LaBeouf or whatever. I don't know. It also stars Marcus T. Polk. Let me. What else was he in? He was in Moesha. Looks like pretty much throughout its run, 96 to 01. So pretty good there. The episode's directed by Anson Williams, who also did. Hold on, let me lower this. Also, he played Holtzy Weber in Happy Days from 74 to 84. That's interesting. Very interesting. And then. So, what is this episode about? I remember this one very vividly. Now, you see, this one should have been the first one, because this one has a very impactful thing. So, Dylan is switching rooms and packing away, and he's switching rooms and he's packing everything from over the years, and he's approached by a younger kid who acts like Dylan already knows him. Um, so, and it seems like it's responsible for harming his friend. And the kid sounds and talks and acts like an old doll that he has. And it's kind of like it's one of those ventriloquist doll story kind of horror stories kind of things, which are always effective. I don't know a lot of stories that get that bad. This what makes this one especially chilling is how they reveal why the doll is doing what it's doing. Like at the end, that huge like reveal and everything just feels super impactful. And this show does that a few times, and every time it does, it feels great. And I have to say, because I just watched Fear Street, which I will cover in October, that trilogy on Netflix. I have to say, no matter what the medium, young kids, older kids, Arnold Stein, he knows how to do a twist. Like I forget how great until I watched Fear Street how great his twists were, and thinking back to it now, I'm like, man, that this episode was really good. Now, and the cool part about it is that Shia LaBeouf, he acts exactly like he would like his reactions are so Shia LaBeouf. It's uncanny. It's like he never lost a beat when he grew up in terms of like his reactions. Now, some people may feel a little weird about him now because he's very eccentric now, but for a while in the late 2000s, he was in quite a few things. Um, Kind of had a little boom. He was definitely up there as a kid. I love him in this mainly because he is very genuine and convincing, and the doll thing or whatever it was is really it's really good too, and that reveal at the end, oh, because I don't want to give it away, but it's kind of they definitely pull a twist on the progression and everything on why the doll is doing what it's doing. It's very interesting. I really like it a lot, and I definitely recommend this one. I mean, to be honest, the rating may not say so, but this might be one of my favorites of the series just because how at the end it's like and the cruelest part is the fact that a loved one has to make that discovery and it hits hard. It's like, oh, It's like it's so good. And keep in mind memory base. So I'm just basing it on what I remember at the moment watching, as opposed to maybe hindsight. But man, still a good episode. I don't know if I would call it scary, but it's definitely I think it hits something. It hits something there, and it's just well done from like something made for like from mid teen from young to young middle school kids to like teenager kind of audience. I think it does a good job there. I think the only thing I kind of wish there was a little bit more. I feel like this could have been a two-parter, and I kind of, to a degree, I kind of wish there was a little bit more of it because I kind of wanted to see what more could they do with that story, because it's so weird because it's just a typical like horror story based around a doll slash ventriloquist dummy kind of thing, but the way they do things in it just makes it feel very fresh, and I kind of want more. But it ends such at a great note. It's like that's the thing. Like I'm starting. This is like the second episode where I don't know. It feels now that I think about it, a lot of these episodes, the end part, the end slash twist really make the episode, because now that I think about it, a lot of these episodes kind of have that to a degree. I think the only thing, I mean, I don't think all of them have twists, or some twists are more impactful than others, but they all have something in them that just makes it go, that's memorable. I'll remember that. I think, and also I believe there, side note, I believe there's only one two-parter in this show, so that's something to keep in mind. I think the only thing, and yeah, the episode should have been the pilot. This is all. I think it's a little bit better than the first one, mainly because I feel like the twist hits a little harder, and I also feel like it's a little bit more intense, and also the message of like trying to move on and not get tied back up into your past. it it's a very similar messaging. I think the messaging in the first one was definitely there, but I felt like it was not shoehorned in, but definitely kind of more towards the end. While I feel like in this one, it's kind of more evenly spread throughout the story, which kind of gives it a more even kind of hitting with it. But yeah, I definitely recommend this one for sure. I think I forgot what and yeah, that's two right there. And so we got about 11 more for regular, and then the 14th one will be the series overall. So yeah, a pretty short one, but that's okay because we just did freaking Incredible Hulk last year, so I'm kind of fine with doing a short one this time around. Next time I'll definitely do a big one, but I don't know what I'm gonna cover. I got a couple ideas in mind for that, but I'm already getting ahead because I already saw the second episode. I'm already talking about future plans for the show, for the series, but I might do a little bit of that. Kinda. I will say I do want to start maybe doing this a bit more often, and maybe not make it just such a crammed in thing, and make it spread out more throughout the year, kind of as a regular thing, just because reasons I'll get into later. I just felt like I should say that up front. But yeah, overall, this episode's fantastic. I definitely recommend it. I will say I don't remember which of these that I'm talking about will be on YouTube to watch, and to be honest, I almost recommend not doing it just because you're not going to get the whole series. They're in two parts, and even one of them doesn't have the second part, so you're really just getting 7.5 out of 13, which is kind of a rip, to be honest. And I mean, I don't think it's even if you do the VPN trick and try to get like the Canadian version, Canadian YouTube. So if you like are trying to watch Afraid of the Dark or something like that, even if you do that, you're not gonna. I don't think even it's even there. Like I tried everywhere looking it up, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I mean, they did release back in the day. They released, I think, a couple VHS tape compilations. They each had like four, so eight of them make out, which is ironic because they're 7.5 on YouTube. So that's probably those eight. So yeah, it's kind of a shame, but I mean, hopefully, if more noise is made about this show, maybe there will be kind of a push to put it on something that's watchable. because it was on Sci-Fi Network. It was somewhere, so it's not like so if it happened once, it can happen again, especially with Stein rising in popularity over the last several years. Based first being the Goosebumps movie, now Fear Street. I feel like there's gonna be a push to take a look at this, even though there's not much to this one. I feel like a lot of the adult Alderstein people are gonna just go to Fear Street and not this. At least having something like this around can kind of just say, hey, they did this. This has some merit. But yeah, overall, I kind of off on the tangent there. I'm just gonna say, like, since these are short anthology stories, I might get a little caught up in more detail about the show as I go along, just because it's such an interesting show given that it came at a time where the horror anthology, especially for kids, was kind of going to be done for a while. Because pretty much since 1980 until like 2000, 2001, horror anthologies kind of ruled both kid and adult space in terms of like just like 80s and 90s, just horror was just very anthology based. Because for adults, you had Tales from the Dark Side, then Tales from the Crypt came, and that just kind of sprung into the 90s. And then for kids, you had Are You Afraid of the Dark from the early 90s until early to mid 90s, and then a couple year one and 99 to 2000, 2000, 2001. I don't quite remember. I think it's 2000, 2001. Then you had Goosebumps ran from 95 to 98. While Are You Afraid of the Dark wasn't there. So you kind of just had throughout the 90s just a string of just horror, kid and horror anthology stuff. And then, of course, you had this from 2000, 2001. So, yeah, you got quite a bit there. But like I said, this is solid. I really like this episode a lot. I think this is definitely one that I think this one represents, I think, the series in a nutshell. Like, in some degree, but I'll hold my breath a little bit because I still got to talk about more of these episodes. So we'll just have to see going forward how they rank. But yeah, that's what I have to say. It's a really solid one. Definitely recommend it for sure. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. In case you want to chat with me, Mike, or anyone else at the Campy Company, and you don't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the about page / about section of our channel. We also have a discussion tab in our channel as well, and you can access that through a PC or a laptop computer. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.